Many of you know about the importance of car seats, baby gates, and other items to keep your children safe. But did you know that the greatest and best ways to protect your child is to make sure that they are vaccinated and to maintain their vaccinations? According to the National Institute of Health, or NIH, they state that vaccinations save 2.5 million children from preventable diseases every year. This equates to roughly 285 children per hour saved. Simply put, vaccination saves lives. Here we will explore the history of vaccinations, the benefits of them, and the misconceptions of vaccinations. Claims have been made over the years regarding the safety of some routine childhood vaccinations, but these decisions to delay or to reject vaccinations comes at an important responsibility that could save your child's life or another child's life. At its peak in the 1940s and 1950s, polio would paralyze or kill over 500,000 people worldwide every year. According to the CDC, or Center for Disease Control, polio is a crippling and potentially deadly infectious disease. It is caused by the polio virus. The virus spreads from person to person and can invade an infected person's brain and spinal cord, causing paralysis. Almost all children, 99 children out of 100 who get all the recommended doses of these vaccines, will be protected from polio. On April 12, 1955, America received the much welcome news that they had developed a vaccination by Jonas Salk. In 1952, more than 55,000 polio cases were reported in the U.S., with more than 20,000 suffering paralysis and more than 3,000 dying, and most of these were young children. Today, polio still exists, but the cases have decreased from 99% since 1988. As long as a single child remains infected with the polio virus, children all over the country are at risk from this deadly disease. There's no cure for polio. It can be prevented by having your children vaccinated. WHO, or the World Health Organization, fights to eradicate smallpox. Smallpox is a contagious, disfiguring, and often deadly disease that has affected humans for many years, for thousands and thousands of years. The first successful vaccine to be developed was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1798. The last case of smallpox in the United States was in 1948. The last case in the world was in Somalia in 1977. Children are no longer vaccinated against smallpox because the disease is no longer exists. This is due to vaccinations. Smallpox was declared to be eradicated in 1980. It was one of the most remarkable achievements in the history of medicine. Amazing statistics to remember is millions died from smallpox every year. Now smallpox is totally wiped out, and the vaccination is done. It's done because of the vaccination. The World Health Organization, or WHO, estimates that vaccinations prevent 2 to 3 million deaths per year in all age groups, and up to 1.5 million children die each year due to these diseases, which could have been prevented by a vaccination. They estimate that 29% of these deaths are children aged 0 to 59 months in 2013. All again were vaccine preventable. The history of vaccines discussed earlier proves that vaccines work. Vaccines protect against diseases like measles, mumps, rubella, influenza, and many others. Vaccinations work by preparing the body to fight illnesses in the sense that the vaccine tricks the body into thinking that it's under assault, and the immune system makes a weapon that will provide a defense when a real infection becomes a threat. Vaccinations protect not only ourselves, but others around you. Vaccinations protect not only individuals, but the entire community. Young children going to school can be exposed to vaccine-preventable diseases from parents, other adults, brothers, sisters, daycares, traveling, or even a simple trip to the grocery store. Vaccines protect the herd. This means that herd immunity is given to a percent of people needed to be vaccinated to provide herd immunity. A percentage of the population is vaccinated against a contagious disease. It is unlikely that an outbreak of the disease will occur, so most of the members of the community need to be protected. Children and adults who cannot be protected by vaccination because of age, poor health, or because they have immune-compromised diseases or are undergoing chemotherapy, for example, need to rely on people with herd immunity to prevent contraction of these vaccine-preventable diseases. In January 2008, an outbreak of measles in San Diego, California resulted in 48 children being quarantined because they were simply too young to be vaccinated and could not rely on the herd immunity to keep them safe. Parents want to protect their children as much as possible from these diseases and from other things. As with all medications, there are misconceptions on vaccinations. In 1998, The Lancet published an article by Dr. Wakefield. Dr. Wakefield's research suggested that there was a correlation between the MMR vaccination and autism. Since this statement was made, all partners in this research, along with the original Lancet article, have been retracted. The retractions are acknowledging that the research done here on the correlation between MMR and autism are inconclusive. They're simply just not true. These statements were in large part why the parents are opting out of vaccinations, along with medical reasons, religious preference, or personal beliefs on their parents' part. Some parents believe there are too many side effects and vaccinations contain harmful substances. To be fair, there are uses of aluminum, formaldehyde, and thimerosal, which are located within vaccinations. But these are at a safe dose. More aluminum is contained in mother's breast milk and baby formula than what is contained in one dose of a vaccination. Parents need to understand that the risks and responsibility when choosing not to vaccinate their child are there. There are disclosures to all doctors, EMS personnel, teachers, even to other students or parents that their child could be infectious. Traveling with a child that has not been infected or has not been vaccinated could put other children and other adults and that child at risk. Parents, educate yourself on these vaccinations. Learn what you can do for your child and the community. The history of vaccinations have proven over time with the eradication of smallpox that vaccinations are effective and do work. Parents, educate yourself on the benefits of vaccinations and the misconceptions of vaccinations to help protect not only your child, but those who cannot be protected by vaccinations. Claims have been made over the years regarding the safety of some routine childhood vaccinations. But with these decisions to delay or reject vaccinations comes an important responsibility that could save your child's life or another child's life. Now, suppose you could make your child safe from some of the most deadliest diseases in history. And suppose that at some time you could also help protect your neighbor's children and other children and the entire country from the same disease. And finally, suppose you could actually help to rid the world of some of these diseases that have been crippling and killing children for centuries. Yes, we as parents can do all of this if we just get our children vaccinated. Thank you.